Hello everybody, it's Nailah from the channel TheTylah. Today I'm going to share with you a theory on The Legend of Zelda. Today's theory is, what happened to the Gerudo? The Gerudo are a race that is present during The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. As we all know, or at least some of us know, that these women do not appear in The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. If you don't know why this is relevant, it's because the events of Twilight Princess is the next Zelda game after Ocarina of Time, according to the official Zelda timeline, as well as gamer speculation. Anyway, enough about talking about what ocarinas have to do with dark princesses. Let's take a look at why these beautiful women do not appear in later titles. First of all, who are the Gerudo? The Gerudo are a race of people producing only women. Whether they kill off all of their male babies or what, this is how it is until 100 years when their king is born. This leads to theory number 1. To go into further detail, health class wasn't wrong when they said it takes a man and a woman to produce a child. Since people generally don't live to be 100 years old, let alone are able to reproduce after reaching such an age, it's likely that they have died off before they can regain people. This reason could be backed up by a gossip stone saying, they say that the Gerudo sometimes come to Hyrule Castle Town to look for boyfriends, which hints that they do in fact reproduce somewhat normally. Also, some characters such as Telma and Midna have been theorized to be ancestors of the Gerudo and Chica. Furthermore, the fact that we don't know how many, if any, kings ruled over the Gerudo before Ganon, which all have had to been after the event of Skyward Sword. Since the Gerudo do not appear in this game either, as well as Ganon having a somewhat early death, their method could have been short-lived. On to theory 2. Maybe the Gerudo and the Twilight are the same people. Now, as crazy as this sounds, it's not very unlikely. Think about it. Remember Midna saying that she is a descendant of the tribe that was banished to the Twilight Realm? What kind of people get banished? If you're still lost, the word I'm looking for is bad, or baleful, evil, whatever tickles your peach. The Gerudo were a race of thieves, as well as only race known to cause trouble to the creatures of Hyrule, not to mention they were the tribe who gave birth to the King of Thieves, whom killed nearly all the residents of Castletown. Also, both the Gerudo and Twilight possess red hair. To continue, the location of the deserts are similar. First, in Skyward Sword, the map is shown to have the desert to the west, lacking a few human-like beings, but having android-like creatures working. Skipping to the future, the desert is found empty. Even further into the future, the desert appears in Ocarina of Time, with the desert still in the same position. With this said, the Gerudo appear from almost nothing, leading on that the race was short-lived. Now, unless they had migrated outside of Hyrule, they have died off, seeing that in Twilight Princess the Gerudo aren't present, despite the desert located in the same place. Note that in this location, it is in fact to the west, even though it appears to be to the east in the Wii version. However, everything has been mirrored to be more user-friendly, since Link is originally left-handed. In addition to the location, certain landmarks stay consistent. In Ocarina of Time, the statue in the Desert Colossal is similar to the statue of the woman in the Gerudo Mesa. And if that isn't clear enough, the name Gerudo is in the name of the Desert Temple in Twilight Princess. Alright, the last point for this theory is that the Mirror of Twilight is located in Arbitrar's ground. Now, an Arbiter is a person who settles a major conflict. Why would this be located in a place where the feared race of Gerudo lived? To judge them for their thievery, of course. To get an entire race to a whole different realm would take a lot of effort, so the Mirror of Twilight could easily capture them. That's not even to mention that the only way to get the desert in the first place is through a cannon, since the path is now blocked off, probably from a desert village. Okay, so that's all that I will get into for Theory 2 before I go on ahead of myself. Theory 3 is much more simple. Maybe the Gerudo just left. I may not be an expert on thiefology, but I'm pretty sure that thieves aren't the most honest people in the world. Is it so unlikely that the thieves sent out to collect money to take the loot for themselves and never returned? If this is the case, more Gerudo would have to be sent out, while none could have been reproduced because of the lack of men. Okay, so that's the end of my theories on the Gerudo. but there is so much more out there to take a look at. For example, you can take a closer look at the dungeon itself, more people who could have been Gerudo, or why the Twilight aren't the Gerudo in the first place. Remember though, that all of these are just theories, and I will see you in the next video.
I'm friends with the monster that's under my bed. Get along with the voices inside of my head. You're trying to save me, stop holding